My mom looked straight at me and said, "You really think talking into a microphone is a career?" My dad laughed, added, "When you're ready for a real job, come see me." Fast forward 2 years, I was on the cover of Forbes. And guess who suddenly wanted to catch up over dinner? If you've ever had someone doubt your dreams, your passion, just because it didn't fit their version of success, then stick around. Because this story, it's about turning humiliation into fuel. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's dive into how my biggest doubters ended up my biggest fans. When I told my parents I wanted to start a podcast, the silence that followed said everything. It wasn't just disapproval, it was disappointment. They had that look, the one parents get when they think you've just ruined your life. I had always been the smart one. Good grades, Ivy League acceptance, and a future everyone said was bright. But after graduation, I realized I didn't want to be another corporate machine. I wanted to talk, to people, to stories, to the world. So I started my show. A tiny podcast from my bedroom using a secondhand mic and a laptop that overheated every hour. When I told them about it, my dad sighed. "You had so much potential, and now you're wasting it on..." "What? Conversations?" Mom chimed in. "Podcasts aren't careers, honey. That's a hobby. You need stability." But stability wasn't what I wanted. I wanted impact. At first, I tried to reason with them. I explained the business model, sponsorships, ad revenue, growth potential. But they just smiled politely and changed the subject. At dinner, my dad talked about my brother's promotion. My mom bragged about my sister's engagement. And me? I sat there invisible, the lost cause of the family. For months, every family gathering felt like a report card I kept failing. Every "so how's your little radio thing" burned a little more. I worked nights, barely slept, and spent every waking hour learning how to record, edit, market, and build an audience. The numbers were tiny at first, 30 downloads, then 100. But then one episode hit. A guest shared their story of surviving burnout in corporate America. It resonated. It went viral. Overnight, I had thousands of listeners, and suddenly my inbox was full of guest requests and sponsorship offers. Still, I didn't tell my parents. Not yet. They wouldn't understand until they saw it. 6 months later, I was invited to speak at a local event for creators. I told my parents, excited, hopeful, thinking maybe finally they'd see I was serious. But my mom's response? "Oh, sweetie, we can't make it. Your father's golf tournament is that day." A golf tournament. Over their child's first public appearance. That hurt more than I wanted to admit. So I stopped reaching out. I focused on my craft. Episode after episode, I built something real. My show broke 1 million downloads, and within a year, I'd landed sponsorship deals worth 6 figures. Then one morning, my phone buzzed with an email. "We'd love to feature you in Forbes. Creators redefining the new media industry." I froze. Forbes. I reread it 5 times, half convinced it was a scam, but it wasn't. 2 weeks later, my face was there, smiling back at me from Forbes' digital cover under the headline, "From Bedroom Hobby to Global Brand, the podcaster who proved everyone wrong." The day the article dropped, my phone blew up. Friends, colleagues, even strangers congratulated me, but one message stood out. It was from Mom. "Sweetheart, we just saw your article. We're so proud of you. Your father says we always knew you'd do great things." I stared at the screen. The same people who skipped my launch, who called my dream a phase, now wanted credit. Dad called later that evening. "Hey, champ," he started, using a nickname I hadn't heard in years. "We should celebrate. How about dinner at your favorite place? Our treat." I smiled, but deep down, I knew this wasn't about me. It was about them. They wanted to bask in the success they never believed in. So I said sure. At dinner, they beamed, showing the waitress the article on their phone. "That's our kid. Made it to Forbes." And for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I just felt done. I paid for the meal, thanked them for coming, and as we stood to leave, I said quietly, "You were right. Podcasts aren't careers. They're legacies." The truth is, validation hits differently when it comes after rejection. But the real victory isn't proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right. So if someone doubts your path, remember, their disbelief isn't your limitation. It's your motivation. If you've ever had someone laugh at your dreams, share this video. Comment, I'll prove them wrong if you re on your own path to success. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week we share real stories of people who turn doubt into destiny. See you in the next one.